Earth can't be the only planet that's gone through this painful ascension, right? I mean, there are potentially thousands, perhaps millions of other planetary life forms that share Earth's universe with us. Are we all connected? Or is Earth just out there on its own, trying to find its own way? Why would another advanced alien race even care that much about Earth and its problems? The short answer is no. Earth is not the only planet to emerge from a low dimension. Yes, all realms are connected, and yes, some alien races do make it their mission to help Earth and other planets with raising their vibrations and eradicating evil. When one planet in this vast system network ascends, it creates a butterfly effect, and we will all ascend. Let me formally introduce you to the Syrmas, an undiscovered ET race that's helping Earth out of this mess using their own past experiences to fuel their drive. Welcome back. My name is Erin Lynn, and in this video, we're going to talk about a benevolent alien race that's very involved with the Earth's goings-ons. These beings who prefer to be known by their Arabic name of their planet, which is Syrma. And Syrma is part of the Virgo constellation with the Bayer designation of Iota Virginis. This group introduced themselves to me a while ago, and I've since read for many Akashic record clients who are Syrma starseeds. Therefore, this is an ET group that I am familiar with. The Syrmas are a non-humanoid species. In fact, they are bird-like or an avian race. Please keep in mind that these are not the only avian species in our universe. There are several others, some of which I will feature in future videos. But what I'll be discussing today only applies to the Syrma race specifically. Syrma beings are a little taller than the average human, approximately 6.5 feet or 198 centimeters in height. This height does not include their mohawk-like row of feathers on the top of their heads, which moves up and down like cockatiel birds that some people keep as pets. This up and down movement of head feathers are almost like how we gesture with our hands when speaking to express ourselves more. The male Syrmas have a taller mohawk than the female Syrmas. Syrma being bodies are covered with uniformly colored, vibrant, bright blue, shiny feathers that lay flat. I have noticed that this is the same cobalt blue color is found in many alien species throughout our universe. They have large wings that fold close to their bodies when not needed, but have a wingspan of around 7 feet or 213 centimeters. Syrmas can use their powerful wings to fly miles up in the sky for long or short distances. They show me that flight is effortless for them. Syrma legs and feet are very bird of prey-like, with scaly skin and claws at the end of their toes. However, their bodies are not entirely bird-like and have some humanoid features. They do walk upright and fly with equal ease. Their overall posture is more upright like a human's. Unlike birds, Syrmas also have arms and hand structures like ours in the same blue color. Syrmas are highly intelligent, logical, and somewhat restrained in their emotions, and technologically inclined. However, they seem to have a healthy relationship with technology, meaning they embrace it when necessary, but don't allow it to take over their lives. Plenty of room is left in their lifestyles for the natural world. Syrmas have large eyes that give them extremely sharp eyesight, that they can see something small and clearly from far distances, whether it's day or night. Even though their ears are not visible, they have very keen hearing and can differentiate many more types of sounds than we can. They can pick up on slight visual or audio stimuli quickly. So let's talk about their UFOs, their ships. These beings do love to fly, whether it's by using their own wings or using technology. Syrma spaceships have been coming to Earth regularly, but only in the past 300 years. This group is very active in the galactic travel and know all the locations, all the travel portals around the universe. However, the Syrma focus typically remains with realms in this universe. They have the capabilities and have traveled outside this universe to other ones. However, they feel they must help what's going on and close to home first. For an avian species who has wings and can fly, their UFOs appear to me as very clunky and not very aerodynamic. They are 3D cube shapes made from smooth black metallic material. However, these cube UFOs move very easily through portals and can make quick turns and movements with ease. From the outside, it doesn't look like they have any windows on these ships, just solid black metal. But once you're inside the ships, you can see through the opaque walls just fine. It looks like a floor to ceiling one-way mirror on all sides. This open view ship design works well with their keen eyesight so they can spot any issues from far away. In the center of the floor is a black raised console with a lit up white sphere that they move with their hands, and that controls the ship's movements. Other than that, I didn't see much else in there as far as blinking lights, buttons, or levers. These black cube ships that come to Earth are smaller and only hold about 5 to 8 Syrmas on board at a time. I'm told they do have larger ships, but they don't come as close. As proud as they are of their crafts and traveling, it's not where they spend all their time. Syrmas frequently will go back and forth from traveling the galaxy and then return to their home world. When I asked if all cube-shaped UFOs belonged to the Syrmas, they said that there were other races that also used similarly shaped crafts, but they are silver and not black. Syrmas can and do sometimes exit their ships and walk on Earth. However, they are extremely careful not to be seen and they never fly around our planet. This is for 2 reasons. One, someone could see them and get terrified. And 2, it's more difficult for them to fly in our much denser atmosphere. They can cloak or make invisible to our eyes their ships when they are in our airspace. Syrmas cannot make their actual bodies invisible. In general, ET races seem very concerned with not creating a mass fear response from the inhabitants of Earth. This is why society has been receiving this slow drip of information about life existing outside our own world. I did bring up with the Syrmas that their ships being a black cube shape could raise suspicions. For some on Earth, it could symbolize the black cube of Saturn, and that carries a negative connotation. Therefore, some might consider them a negative group and that their ships something to fear. Their response was, quote, "Just because those on Earth put a meaning to something, it does not mean that all share the same view. Our ships are designed in this way because it worked best with the technology we created. The black color works best to allow us to travel under the cover of nighttime undetected, as well as making it easier to cloak if traveling during the daylight hours." The Syrmas are now in the 7th dimension, but they began their collective journey in the 3rd dimension. Upon first meeting the Syrmas, they told me they can relate to our current struggles on Earth. I was told that, quote unquote, we've done this before and that we have a lot of insights to share. In the early stages of their own planetary evolution, they were enslaved by a hidden underground group of negative entities who took advantage of their lack of spiritual understanding that they had at the time. Syrmas can be a bit passive in nature, so this coupled with their low dimensional vibrations kind of made them an easy mark for those beings who sought to control and extract the energy and resources of a planet for their own selfish gain. I was shown many Syrma beings were chained up and imprisoned with literal chains around their necks and anchored to a wall. Their feathers were dull in color and they seemed smaller in size, much less physically powerful than I see them now. The Syrmas never used money, but their forced hard labor was demanded to survive. Their lives were completely controlled and their spirits were broken. Any dissenters were ridiculed and or killed. Over time, enough of the spell that they were under lifted, and a mass revolt and brutal world war broke out. Eventually, they were able to break down the negative entities' hold on their world and their minds. The Syrmas' path to ascension was slow and difficult, much like we are going through on Earth. However, they do not want what they had to do to free themselves to be the fate of other realms attempting to ascend. It is now their mission to help ascensions move a bit smoother and with less violence. These struggles they have had to overcome as a race have been intentional because now they have a deep genetic understanding of cause and effect and what can be done to fix the problems that the proliferation of evil creates. Syrmas now work with other ET groups who foresee an issue in a future timeline and will then deploy them to be on the first line of defense to block a potential negative outcome. This race of beings does work in tandem with several other races to complete their service missions. Syrmas are not out there going rogue, taking care of business by themselves. Currently, Syrma society is thriving and doing great. They find a tremendous amount of purpose and satisfaction helping others in need. The Syrmas do have a form of leadership on their planet. There are 5 Syrmas that serve for a lifetime once given a seat. Those who serve in leadership positions are not voted in by the populace, but they allow Source or God to choose the best individual for the job. Their leadership primarily deals with only high-level issues that pertain to the planet. It is possible for a small group or even an individual Syrma to speak with the leadership board if they wish. Freedom is very important to the Syrmas, and they do not want oppressive leadership. They are also active within the Galactic Federation of Light, or GFL for short. They have separate leadership boards on the GFL and a leadership board for the planet itself. Planet Syrma is beautiful and so colorful. The colors in their landscapes and skies are as vibrant as the beings themselves. This may be why the Syrma seem to be partial to vibrant colors and appreciate beauty that these colors can create. There are vast areas of grassy plains and bright red mountain ranges in the background. There are ancient forests with massive redwood-type trees, which the Syrmas like to fly up to a branch and perch on to enjoy the view. I see them often sleeping in the trees. The sky is as bright blue as their feathers, and there are several swirly cloud patterns in the sky. These swirls are portals for travel outside their planet. The fact that they leave their planet and travel the universe is very apparent when visiting their world. The realm has a round yellow sun that has 5 moons that surround it. These moons are visible even during the daylight hours. These moons are different colors: green, blue, white, black, brownish, and brownish red. They rotate around the sun. I'm told this tells the Syrmas what time of day it is or where they are at in a cycle. When I asked if any beings lived on those moons, I received a no. These moons have always been attached to their planet since it first came into existence. Planet Syrma only has freshwater lakes on their world. The lakes are large, like our Great Lakes on Earth. Therefore, some of them can look like oceans. Their bodies of water are unique colors. I saw a pink water lake and another orange water lake. And I was told that these colors are from a combination of the rock that underneath that makes up the lake beds and the type of plant that grows within that water. Whatever the reason for it, it's just stunning and adds to the over-the-top vibrancy of their planet. There are no cities on their world. They like to keep it more natural. There were ugly gray metropolises in their distant and low-dimensional past they were forced to build, but these cities were destroyed long ago with no desire to recreate them. The only buildings I see are massive domed hangars that are partially underground and partially above ground. And these hangars are where they keep their spacecrafts, and their designs work in visual harmony with the natural landscape. Nature, physical space, and beauty symbolizes freedom to them. And they don't even sleep in or use homes, they live outside. Syrmas are resourceful creatures who prefer open spaces due to their past of being confined, not only physically, but spiritually and mentally. Syrmas eat the natural vegetation on their planet, as well as hunt and consume small creatures on their own world. They do need to eat daily, and they don't have any teeth as they use their hands and beaks to eat. They work well as a group, with everyone having a specific role that they would have volunteered for and then trained to do. Syrmas do not live in family structures like we do. They generally don't keep the same mate for life and tend to be a bit more solitary in nature. I usually see one being at a time in their world, and the only time I've seen a couple group together is on their ships. Some Syrmas will have friendships and be closer to one and spend more time with them than others, just like others. The females will lay a 10-pound or 4.5-kilogram aqua-colored egg when giving birth. They don't lay eggs all the time like a chicken would. However, the mother Syrma does not watch over her egg until it hatches, but there are several specially trained female Syrmas who are tasked with caring for and assisting in the hatching of all baby Syrma eggs. I did not witness this process myself. This is what they told me when I asked them. Once hatched, the babies are then brought to another group trained to raise and nurture these babies. The newborn Syrmas are born featherless and with their eyes closed, just like birds freshly hatched here. Over the first few months, they will gradually grow their blue feathers. Syrmas do not drop their feathers or molt, but can regrow lost feathers when necessary. The parents will visit and be involved in their offspring's life, but not as much as we experience on our world. The Syrma youth know who their parents are and have a relationship with them throughout their lives, but it's just not exclusive. The young Syrmas do not feel uncared for, as this is how all the children are raised. And they are loved by all equally, regardless of their genetic relationship. Syrmas do not wear clothes. They only have their feathers covering their bodies, and the feathers are very good at regulating their body temperatures, even in vastly different temperatures, although they do not especially enjoy being in particularly cold climates. The female Syrmas do wear jewelry in the form of a headband made from some sort of white metal that has dangling things down the side, which could kind of look like dangling earrings. They can also wear necklaces and bracelets. And this type of jewelry they wear can give clues on what job they're trained to do, as well as denote the age and wisdom acquired by that being. Syrma is more of a matriarchal society. This means that the females of the species hold more power in their culture. It's not entirely one-sided, as the leadership panel of 5 will always have 3 females and 2 males serving. The males in the culture do have some input, but this lean towards female leadership is also an aspect for their GFL or military leadership. This is why female Syrmas are the only ones to wear jewelry, and why it's important to know the level of importance the female serves in society. Receiving a particular piece of jewelry is done in a public ceremony, and it is bestowed upon the individual with great honor. So what do the Syrmas think of us on Earth? These avian beings have a tremendous respect and empathy for what the people of Earth have been enduring. Observing Earth in its current state is a painful reminder of their own past, but they are determined for positive change to occur. They understand how those on Earth have gotten themselves in their current predicament and are humbled to play a part in assisting us. They send love to all those on Earth and ask that we hang in there. We have much more support than we realize. The Syrmas have been pretty hands-on behind the scenes and felt it was time for those on Earth to be more aware of them. They realize that we have been and will be seeing more activity in our skies that we cannot understand. They want to be a part of quelling any potential fears that we may have of the unknown. They tell me, quote unquote, not all alien life is out to harm you. We are one of the good ones. The Syrmas, along with many other alien races, know that their presence is being accepted and known by those on Earth more now than ever. They want to be a part of the conversation and be able to explain who they are in their own words through this video. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the Syrmas. Comment below what you think about this Blue Avian ET species that's been serving in the background of our world for the past few centuries. Let me know if you see any black cube UFOs. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, kindly subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos highlighting other previously unknown alien races in our universe. Should you want to have your Akashic record read by me, the link to the website is below. In the meantime, I love you all and welcome to a higher dimension.